Hi friends, today I'm going to discuss about how to create a virtual machine using ARM template in Visual Studio. So Visual Studio is an integrated development environment from Microsoft. ARM is a method managing Azure resources together as a single unit. So ARM is nothing but the Azure Resource Manager. You can deploy and configure Azure resources from a template that uses JSON syntax. Even role-based access control permissions can be control using the template. So now I would show you how we can create an ARM template using the Visual Studio. So this is the Visual Studio which I have logged in, and I am creating a new project. So now I have to select, so these are my recent projects, and now here you can select Azure Resource Group, and we have this. So here you can name it as what kind of a project name is required for you. I'm just giving a sample Azure. So a virtual machine using template will be created, and this is my project name. Now next, let's go ahead and create. So now I am going to select a template that is available within the Visual Studio. These are all the Visual Studio templates which are available for us. And remember, so you can also provision using the templates that are available across the GitHub. So now I'm going to select a normal with the available templates that are provided. So now I'm going to so here we can see various templates that are provided: a blank template, a Windows virtual machine scale set, a Linux scale set, a fabric cluster, web application with SQL, a logical app, a Windows virtual server with a load balancer configured. So now for our example, if we take this, so this template allows you to create a virtual machine in a virtual network behind an internal load balancer with port 80. So now let us take this, and so now we can see how we can provision a server with the template, with this template. Okay, and so now remember, as I told you in the beginning, so the references of this project are the PowerShell script, where it will take two parameters, the template file and the template parameters file. So the load balanced virtual machine.json, it contains all the list of resources provided in this section, and this parameters.json is editable, and you can modify both according to our need. So let us go ahead and provision this. So since we do not have a new resource group, let us create a resource group. Yeah, this would be the name, and I would create in West Germany, which is near to my location. And yes, so now remember friends, you have to edit the parameters and pass the admin username and password. Remember that you have a feasibility to provide a key vault to create, and the secrets can be provided, but for now I'm not going to create. And we have an option to select the image SKUs whichever we want for our system, and we have also the facility to select the VM size and the number of instances for the scale set. So I'm leaving it all as it is, and then I'm saving it, and then I'm going to deploy. So in the meantime, I would walk through the JSON file that is coming along with the template that we have selected. So if you come here and see, so this is the admin username that we provided and the admin password, followed by the data center R2 2012 web machine that we have selected for as part of the image SKU. And these are the allowed values, but we have chosen this, and we have the VM size that is selected as standard D2V2 size, and these are all the allowed values which we have as part of the JSON, and the number of instances that are going to create are 2 virtual machines, and the name would be the virtual name prefix my Windows VM, And the publisher, hope if you have seen my first video on how to create a Windows 2016 server, in that I have mentioned how to select the image offer using the command like get image SKU from the PowerShell. And then now we have the storage account that is going to create a virtual network. My VNet would be created with the load balancer. And here in this resources section, now here you can see what are the display names that would be created for the storage account, availability set, virtual network. And here you have the address prefix that that is selected as 10.0.0.0. So remember friends, this is a CIDR range, and CIDR is nothing but a classless interdomain routing. A single IP address can be used to designate many unique IP addresses with the CIDR. So for example, if we consider this 10.0.0.0/16, it would lead to total number of hosts of 65,536. That is calculated based on the CIDR addressing. And so the CIDR IP address looks like a normal IP address, except that it needs with a slash followed by a number, that is /16 here in our case. So this is called the IP network prefix. CIDR addresses reduce the size of routing tables and make more IP addresses available within the organizations. So in our subnetwork, we have in the virtual network, we have created a subnetwork with this prefix. So all our IP address can be started with 10.0.0.2.0/24 and /24, meaning it will lead up to 256 hosts. The first IP would be 10.0.2.0 and the last IP would be 10.0.2.255, which you both cannot be used and rest we can use. Remember one more point, there is a difference of actual usage of the IP address and Azure. So Azure uses additional for your IP addresses, so only 251 would be available for us. Now coming to the next section of the network interface and then of the resources. So now we have the network interface that is going to be created with the IP config details, and we have a load balancer, backend pool, which is allowing on this front end and back end ports with 80, and we have the virtual machine parameters where it can diagnostic the resources. So we have the Azure diagnostic, and the application has been the application errors, system errors, and the security errors have been configured. So these are the sort of events which will be displayed on the CPU utilization, privilege time, CPU the time, CPU frequency, process, all are handled within this template where we can see. So now friends, let us go to this section of the output, and now we can see so what all are provisioned and what is still going ahead. So if you see this part of the section, yes, so now we have 2 virtual machines that are running on with 2012 operating system standard D2V2 size. So now this is created. So let's go to our Azure resource group, and then we can see, yes, we are using template. Yeah, here you can see the list what we have discussed already. Now we have the availability set, a backend load balancer, backend virtual machine network interface 0 and 1. So this is for virtual machine 0, virtual machine 1, and Y meaning vNetwork. Again we have, so if you friends, if you remember the subnet which I talked about, that is configured as 10.0.2.0/24. So now within the subnetwork we have the associated IPs for this network interface and the load balancer. Now coming to this section again, so here we have a storage account, 2 virtual machines, availability set. If you go to the availability set, you can see the number of instances are running, and we can go to the resource groups, and yeah, so number of virtual machines. Here we have an option to select from this as well. You can see the virtual machines here, virtual machine 0 and 1, so both are up and running. Here you can see the status of it. So currently, yeah, so currently it is running, and Now we can see the load balancer here. We can, okay, the backend load balancer is configured. So this is the front-end IP configuration. We have at this point, at this IP address, and the backend pools. We have the two virtual machines running on. So friends, now if I go to the virtual machine to log in, I would see something interesting. So for example, this is my uh, virtual machine, and if I want to RDP, here if you see I have the option of only private IP address, and I am on a public network. So friends, I tried to download, but it would not allow me to access this, because since I am on an external network and I'm trying to connect to a private IP address, so I cannot able to connect with this template. So if I want to connect to this, so we see the error that is coming up. So if I want to connect to this particular virtual machine, so I need to create a public IP address associated with this virtual machine, and then create a DNS alias if I want to. So now let's add create a public IP address, IPv4, and the basic standard SKU, and the name. So it would be a dynamic IP address for within the subnet, and then I'm giving a DNS name as well. So this is the VM01 DNS name which I provided, and in this subscription which I have, and I have to select the resource group. So in this resource group, I'm going to create a public IP address and the DNS name. So now it is created. Once it is created, we can see here that it would list. Yeah. So now it is still creating. So once it is created, then we can associate and connect using the public IP address or the DNS name. So it takes a couple of minutes sometimes. Yeah. So now it is created, and we can see, go to this resource. So we have the facility to connect our application server with this DNS name. So first, now we have to associate either a load balancer or a network interface. In this section, I'm going to associate with the network interface for the backend virtual machine network interface. This is 0. That is the first virtual machine. So I'm going to associate it, and then we can see the public IP address that is provided. So we have an option to select either dynamic public IP address or the static public IP address. So it takes a little bit of time to associate. So once it is associated, then we can launch the application server, the virtual machine of 2012. So this is taking a little of time. Refresh, and then we can see it. So in the meantime, let me go to the virtual machines and see if I got a public IP address. Yes, so here I got a public IP address already, and the network interface is successfully saved. So now if I go to RDP, now I have the DNS name and then the public IP address. I can select either of the one to connect. So if I open with the DNS name, so this is how I connect. Successfully logged in the username and password, and I'm connecting to the VM01 Univest Central Cloud App.azure.com, and connected successfully. So this is how we connect to the virtual machine via the template that is provided, that is by the Visual Studio template, by the default Visual Studio template that we have selected as part of our project. And the key point is these are the parameters that will provision the system. And so at the end you have the new Azure RM resource group deployment. So we are using the group deployment command for our provisioning of the virtual machine along with the load balancers and virtual storage. So in case if we want to check the storage account and the associated hard disks VHDs, we can go here and then check it. So this is the one which we have created accordingly, and go to this containers. You can see the list of VHDs and the container sections which have been created as part of this template. That's it, friends. Thank you for watching my video. Have a nice day.